Oh yeah. Okay, it's Tuesday morning, almost 7 o'clock. Been up since a little after 5. Finished my morning routine, doing a little reading. What do you want? So, just 1 hour. I'm just gonna do like a steady run or steady pace the whole time. Yeah, beautiful. It's not too cold actually. Probably like 38 degrees. Look at the sky, can you see? I don't know if you can see that, but you know, some orange clouds or anyway. Yeah, let's do this. Great day. Snow's starting to melt because it was like 50 degrees yesterday, I think, and today I think it's gonna be 60. Still ice, baby. I'm carrying this very small stick, so I'm sure the video is pretty shaky. There it is, the sun. Pretty cloudy right now, but hopefully we'll see more sun later. Tons of traffic on J Road, the road today. So I'm just turning left, and I love this road. There's no traffic. Or, you know, it's not as busy as the other road. Sun, I think we're doing better. A little better. You see, I love it when there's no cars. Pretty quiet. Weather is great. Yes. Feels so good. I mean, got up early, did 10 push-ups, then I did like a 10-minute visualization thing. And this is one of the things that I thought of really hard, just like do my early workout. I wrote it down in my journal. You know, it's little things like that that I'm realizing that helped me to get back into that discipline. Oh yeah. What's up, son? What's up? This is what makes these runs worth it. Geese, chillaxing, just waking up. That's awesome. Just taking a little break. I just finished a pretty super sweet interval. This road, I remember from early in the video, it was pretty quiet. Starting to get busy. And so, you know, it's not too bad to run on the shoulders. It's just that sometimes that interrupts with your rhythm, right? Got a haircut. It's almost 5 o'clock. One of the things that I wanted to share with you is like the books that I've been reading lately. So this is interesting. I've never been much of a reader, to be honest. I've always liked books that were based on like true stories. For instance, I'm a huge fan of all the books that talked about Lance Armstrong, and by that I mean the real Lance Armstrong, what he did and all, you know, the doping and the bowling, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I knew about what he was doing like 2 years before the Oprah interview. I found that really fascinating. And but in general, I never really read that much. For some reason, I started having this curiosity, this like thirst to learn more about stuff. And I kicked off my year reading a bunch of different books. I have several people that I consider my virtual mentors. It's just because, you know, they don't know me, I don't know them, but I follow them on social media, online. At this point, I think it's 4. One of them is Gary Vaynerchuk, one of them is Casey Neistat, Jocko Willink, and the last one is Tim Ferriss. So let me kind of walk you through what I'm reading right now. Okay, so Jocko Willink is a former Navy SEAL. If you follow me on Instagram and see some of my daily quotes or posts, there's several that are from Jocko. He's a retired Navy SEAL that talks about things related with discipline and something that he calls extreme ownership, which basically means, you know, you have to own your own shit. That's something that started resonating with me more and more the last months of 2017. I found his YouTube video blog or, you know, channel, and I started watching some of his videos, and they're pretty cool. It's basically, he has this routine where he gets up every day at 4:30 in the morning, he does his stuff, and he posts a photo of his watch at the 4:30 plus mark, and that's something that I kind of copy and started doing on my Instagram post, and I really like that. Anyway, he has a book called Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. This is a quote that really resonated a lot with me. Discipline equals freedom. Why? Because the more disciplined you are, the more time you have, the more control you have over a lot of things. And discipline can start from something as simple as getting up early. And he's really the reason that really got me motivated to start getting up early again. Start getting up at 5 in the morning. So in this book, he basically talks about several things of his philosophy, and I'm not really gonna go into detail, but he talks about, you know, where does this discipline come from. It's interesting because it's really easy to read, and like there's several chapters, right? So this is one that I read on a regular basis, and actually I've been taking notes in this little journal here, like highlights from reading the book, and yeah, it's been great. Like, I write down my notes, and sometimes I go back and go through them again. So Jocko Willink is all about discipline, kind of like attacking and destroying your own enemy. You know, the way he calls it, he kind of puts a parallel with all things war, because that's his background. Well, that's one. Another one is Tim Ferriss. And this is interesting because, of course, Tim Ferriss has been around for quite some time now, and even though I knew about him, I knew about his book, The 4-Hour Work Week, and I remember I bought it, and I couldn't read it. It was hard for me to read, and also I was like, how can you just work 4 hours a week? You know, you should be working hard, right? So that was something that I was not a big fan of him until a few months ago. I saw a video where Gary Vaynerchuk was interviewing him, and Tim Ferriss talked about this book that he recently launched called Tribe of Mentors, where he basically interviewed all these successful people, not only business people, CEOs, but also like athletes and, I don't know, actors and scientists, all kinds of people. And he would ask them questions. Basically, one day, Tim Ferriss asked himself this question, and it was like, what would it look if it were easy? And what he was trying to achieve was, like, sometimes when we're trying to do things or we're trying to figure out things, we don't know better, and we tend to go the hard route or the long route. So I guess what he's trying to do is learn from the best, from successful people, and try to avoid figuring out by himself. Kind of learn, you know, from other people who have achieved the things that you would like to achieve. So he's kind of hacking or trying to figure out ways to hack the system. And he's always been like that, right? He's always been about trying to be as efficient as possible, try to find different ways where you can get the most result with the least effort. That doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you don't work hard or anything like that. So I've been reading this book, and I also bought this other book called Tools of Titans, which is kind of a similar type of concept as Tribe of Mentors, where I think this book is like 2 years old, maybe. Or maybe a year old. In this book, he interviews a bunch of people, again, athletes, business people, celebrities, I guess, and he asks them several questions related with the tools that they use to be successful. I also have another journal notepad where I'm taking notes. It's pretty cool. It's really cool because one of the things that I like about Tim Ferriss is, like, the reason why I started my morning routine, it was because I read about what he was doing, and then I read about what Jocko Willink was doing, like getting up every day at 4:30 in the morning, and that's when I realized I need to have a routine. And it's been great so far. And one of the things that I also learned from Tim Ferriss was this idea of journaling every single day. And he follows this 5-minute journal in which every day in the morning, you know, right after you get up, you do a 5-minute journaling thing where you write down about things such as 3 things I'm the most grateful for. You know, what would make today great? Daily affirmations. I am. These little simple questions been great so far because I have found that answering these things and only doing, you know, following 5 minutes, doesn't need to be that long, helps my brain to like kick off my day in a positive way. It makes me think about the things that I want to achieve during the day. It makes me think about the things that I'm grateful for and that I appreciate. And so this journal has actually 2 parts. So you do 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night right before you go to bed. And at night you answer questions such as 3 amazing things that happened today and how could I have made today even better. So again, this is like more about being grateful, gratitude. And it's great because, one, you go to bed in a much better mood just because you think about the great things that happened today. But it also, you know, this question of how could I have made today even better, it's interesting because not only makes you realize about the things that you missed doing today or you could have done today, but it also kind of triggers your mind to think, hey, maybe I can do it tomorrow. So really cool stuff. And again, it's part of the routine, right? The routine. In another book that I just recently started, and again, this came as a recommendation from Tim Ferriss. That's one of the cool things about him is that he just tries a lot of things, and he basically recommends the things that I guess work for him, that he believes in. I don't know if they're sponsored or not, but I guess it's up to you to take a look at. Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. So it just basically talks about how you can learn to love yourself a little bit more. And when I say that, I mean I love myself a lot. You know, but I think that sometimes there's opportunities to take it to the next level. You know, I don't know, life is not perfect all the time. You just feel you know, a little down sometimes, especially now. For instance, for me, that I'm starting a new business, it's not easy. A lot of times you have moments of self-doubt. You're not feeling at your best. So I don't know, for some reason when he mentioned this book, I thought it was great. I thought it was really interesting. And the last one that I just bought, which I haven't received yet but probably soon, is called Crushing It from Gary Vaynerchuk. It's basically, I think, a series of examples of people who are doing well, like normal people who following Gary Vaynerchuk's principles of hustling and working hard, flipping stuff on eBay and things like that. I think he's featuring examples of that in his book. Of course, I only read like 20 or 25 minutes a day. It's mostly early in the morning before I start my day, and literally I put my timer and I pick a book a day, right? So most of the time I do this Jocko Willink book every day, and it's probably like a chapter, which is not more than 10 minutes. And then I kind of go between one of the Tim Ferriss books, which I've been actually focusing more. I started with Tool of Titans, but then I kind of switched to Tribe of Mentors, just because Tribe of Mentors I think is more focused on business, and that's where I'm more focused now. And also this Radical Acceptance book. So this is really helping me to not only learn new things, but also see things in a different way, and I think be more productive, and it's also helping me to stick with this routine or morning ritual that I started in January. So, and I'm gonna talk about the things that I really like from all these virtual mentors, because they're really different things that I like from each one of them. So good stuff. Read more.